Hello, Jim Hodges here, Penny here. Penny is a 6-month-old pit that has been in for our residency or board and train program. Very affectionate, very friendly. She does have these alpha characteristics that were displayed with her other dogs in her home. We just have to manage and watch these very carefully, especially as she gets older. She's really shown no alpha or leadership role with humans, but again, as she gets older, that's something we want to watch. That's one of the reasons why I like to talk about us being leaders. We establish ourselves as the leader. She's going to respect and follow our lead. And every day we should be doing some sort of obedience. Not structured like this always, but we definitely want to do it in real life scenarios. So we're going to go through and work. The only other thing that you may see with her is that she gets worried about certain little things, like our trash can, for example, our Polaris, the little four-wheeler we have, little things like that she gets nervous with. And what we want to do is not to intensify that fear, but try to introduce her to as many new things as we can under the guise of obedience, and nothing's going to hurt her. Because us as the leaders, we want to make sure that we're leading and she trusts that we have her back. You right, sweetheart? Okay, so listen to my tone, and we will talk a little bit more as we go through obedience. The very first thing is man, she pulled like crazy when she first got here. In fact, we did a little video on the pulling that maybe I'll put up on my Facebook page or something like that for people to look at. But she's walking real good, real good, and I'm real happy with how she walks on a leash now. So watch what I do. You ready, baby? Let's go. Good girl. So let's go now is walking beside us on a loose leash, okay? I turn, she goes with me. If she tried to pull me like she did before when she first got here, I would tap the leash right back to my side. I tell her, no, let's go. But for sure, when she's walking good, let's go. I want to let her know she's doing great. The other thing that I will do is I'll change speeds a lot with her, especially in the beginning. I'll make turns because I want her to focus and watch me and follow my lead because I'm the leader, or your lead because you're the leader. Let's go. Atta girl. Sit. Hand signal for sit. Good girl. Sit means sit. If I ask her to sit, she's got to sit right then, and she's got to hold that sit. If she did not sit when I asked her to, I would tap that leash and tell her, no, sit, and then good girl. Even if I bite her, I'm going to provide a mild form of praise when she gets it right. And we talk about praise, there's two forms of motivation. Praise. Good girl. There are two forms of motivation, praise and consequence. Praise, when we are working with her and when she's being a good girl, involves as many times as we can words, touch, treat, toy, and positive emotion. Consequence is words and touch. Sometimes it can involve other things where we're ignoring them, not paying attention to them till they learn to provide the behavior that we ask them to do. Let's go. The other thing is we have to find reasons to praise our dogs at least 20 times more during the day than we do bite them. We're not here with the consequence to intimidate or dominate, break her spirit, hurt her, or have her fear us. We want to have a bond together, and fear is not a way to have that bond, especially with a dog that gets a little, with all dogs, but with her getting a little insecure around certain things. It's important that we're positive, that we're comforting, but at the end of the day, she does what we ask. Let's go. Good girl. So, sit. Atta girl. Let's go. We're walking. We're going. One of the things I just did, sit, is the BREA command. Break. Good girl. Good girl. Little treat, pat her, and love her. Notice I told her break. That's the hand signal, and I stepped away. And when I stepped away, she came to me. Of course, I had a little treat in my hand, and I like to use treats from time to time. It's a great reward for a job well done. It helps teach the repetition of what we're doing. But I never give her a treat unless she does what I ask. And typically, I don't have a treat out telling her, hey, baby, will you do a command for me? Because now we're asking her to do something for us for this. We want her to do it for us, okay? So I'll typically hide the treat in the palm of my hand and give it to her for a job well done. As an owner, you can decide how much you want to do it, okay? I don't mind you giving them a lot, but I also want to make sure that our dog does our commands because we ask him to. So you know the sit, you know the let's go. Let's go is good girl is tapping to our side. The sit is tapping up on the leash, and when we tap to our side and tap the leash anytime, it's important that we tell her no and repeat the command. Let's go. Sit. Now the D-O-W-N. Down. Good girl. And down is the down. If she did not down just then, this is her head, I would have tapped the leash towards the ground, okay? I'm not going to go down there and bite her and worry her for doing the right thing, but she sat, she did, I asked her to down, she didn't down, I would tell her no, down. If she popped up, it would be no, down. When I tell her down or sit, she has to hold that until I release her. I don't use that word stay unless I mean for her to stay for a while, okay? So, stay. So down in a normal form means down, pay attention to dad, or no, down, okay? Down in the normal sense of things means to down, focus on me. Down, stay is a little more free. It's not so much free that she can stand up, but she can smell the ground. She can chew on a toy. She can do something along the lines there. And if you'll go back, you'll notice I tapped on that no down. And she knew she did something wrong as soon as I walked into her. Good girl. She has to hold it. So the open sign, stay, good. And she holds it until I release her. We also use stay for rooms. We're walking out a door, we'll tell her to stay. As we walk out the door, she has to stay in that room. In the beginning, we have her on a loose leash, so if she comes through the room, we'll tap the leash back into the room. No, no, stay. Good girl. Break. Good. So I can go from one command to the other. We don't have to bridge them. For example, down. I didn't ask her to sit first. Sit. Good. Let's go. So the down from the side was just like that. From in front, it was like this. Good girl. Let's go. Come on. Okay. Play. Girl, I love the way she pounces on it. And I like to give her a reward. The reward, of course, is a little treat. She gets on her bed, she can lay down, sit down, stand up. I don't care what she does as long as she stays on the bed. She can't chew up the bed. She has to be friendly and just chill and take it easy. We've done this around our dogs. You'll do it around your dogs. You'll just, in the beginning, we want to manage all situations with her, okay? She can do this for an hour or two at a time. And she gets excited about doing it because this becomes a comfortable place for her. In the beginning, at your home, and with your dog and with her, you'll put her on the place that she may stand very rigid. That's okay. Just let her stay there. If she starts to lay down, then we praise her and tell her laying down is fine. But we don't tell her to sit her down on the bed. Right, sweetheart? Let's go. Come on. Good girl. So you notice I did that break command a while ago. So the break command, I like to say, is sort of like a preliminary job to do the COME command, if you will. So we have two forms of the COME, and when our dog is doing good, I didn't tell her good girl, but I'm petting her and loving her to let her know she's being a good girl. This is what I want. She can never pull me on a leash again. Back to the come command though, the break, having her come to me is a prerequisite or a pre-form of her beginning the come command. We do come two ways, one on leash, one off leash. The one on leash, we can affect the outcome. The one off leash, we can't. And the worst thing that people do is ask their dogs to come when they're 20 or 30 feet away and they would rather do something else. They don't come, and our dog just learned they don't have to obey us all the time. Okay? So off leash, we want to encourage her to want to come to us. But we also start to teach the structure of it by this. And she is focused on something over here. Must be a squirrel or something like that. But she's got to work anyway, okay? And if I see her doing something along those lines, one of the things I'll do, instead of calling her name, I'll go, let's go. And just make her turn her head. Or I might tell her to sit or down. Sit. Good. So the COME on leash is just like this. Come. She comes, she sits, and a girl. And I'll give her a treat. Now she has to stay in that sit until I release her. Break. So what I've done is I've started to teach her the come command, hand signals like this, for her to come right here. If she didn't come, I would tap the leash just like in the let's go but instead of to my side, I'll tap it right here. Good girl. Good girl. She wants to do the right thing. And she's a puppy. She's 6 months old. She gets excited. She does get turned on by little things like the cat, the squirrels, and anything else that dogs do. But by and large, she's good. She's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. There's only one perfect being to ever walk this earth, okay? It's not us. Thank you for his grace. Right. So the other thing about the come command is pretend like she is off leash, okay? And I want her to come. So what I would do is I'm not going to tell her to come. I'm going to get her attention, show her a toy, show her a treat, show her me. She gets excited and starts to come to me and makes the commitment to come to me. That's when I'm going to insert that command. And then when she gets to me, I really don't care if she sits or comes. As long as she comes right here, I'm going to pet her and love her and release her. I'm never going to call her to me and punish her or do anything that might seem like a negative. We're trying to build a bond of trust here, okay? Especially for a dog that may get a little worried about things from time to time. We want her to feel like safety is coming to mom and dad. Okay, Penny, hey, look what I got, come. See, she had started committing to come. Atta girl, break. That's such a good girl. She was starting to come. Another thing she used to do is jump. On leash, we would tap her like that, or we'd grab her and bring her back down and tell her no. But we want her excited. We want her to have a good time. We want to lead so that that alpha thing does not become a problem as she gets older or with your dogs. We manage the situation by asking her to do the things that we ask her to do. Let's go. Good girl. So now, the loading up on furniture and a vehicle, something like that. Okay, baby, load up. Good girl. Ah, girl. Break. Sit. Good. She had to think about it. She was looking back here at the stump, but she made a good choice. Good girl. Break. You've got to allow a dog, especially in the beginning, to sort of think things through. Where it becomes a problem is if they have to think everything through. Now they're stalling for time. But when she's trying to figure something out, you want to encourage her. Let her know she's doing what we ask her to and praise her for it. Sit. Good. The next command is the heel command. The heel command is we've got that box right beside us. Her job is to stay in the box. Our job is to keep her in it. It's sort of a much tighter let's go. We want her by our side. The only real difference is we want her to sit when we stop the heel, okay? I never stop the heel in a curve or immediate turn. I always give her a chance to get back in the box. But she can only read what we do. Heel, hand signal, just like this. We're walking, step off, she comes back into the box, she sees the bed, now heel baby, come on. And then she will sit automatically. Heel. Good girl. And when she sits, she has to hold that sit until I release her. Okay, and I can release her by a break or let's go. Or any other command that we've been working on. Come on, sweetie. So you see, she really gets interested in other things. When she first came, we thought this interest was because she liked other animals, but some of it we think might be a little bit insecurity. And that's where obedience and being positive and being strong. I tell people when she does get afraid or if she gets hurt, any dog, it's not our job to come in and try to pet and love her and show her sympathy and empathy. Because in essence, it's really a form of weakness. Because if we come and start loving her when she's afraid or she's gotten hurt, we're just reinforcing the feelings she's having at that moment in time. She's been a real good girl. We want to lead, and we lead every single day. Even if we're only working for 30 seconds one time, 5 minutes the other, 10 minutes the other. When you find something that bothers her or she gets a little worried about, don't worry. Don't you get fretted and be afraid of the situation. Just go into obedience and let her see that you've got control, and she's going to start to pick up on that as you've got confidence, okay? Again, I don't think it's a matter of there was poor socialization. I just see some dogs that had this little mental hang-up from time to time, and I think she has it. Because we can go around the cars, around the tractor, around a number of things, and she's perfectly fine. And then something like the trash can, the Polaris, a round dog bed. We've got a rectangular one. Believe it or not, when we first tried to get her to place on the round one, she did not like it. It really worried her. I guess it was the shape of things and maybe where it was located inside. but we work those things out. We try not to scare her to the point that she's constantly afraid of that going forward, but we try to introduce her. In fact, her mom did a real good job with her the other day of getting near the trash can and sitting down, and she wouldn't come to me by the trash can, but she came to Mom. And I think that was a perfect way of showing her that whatever that item is nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, I think I've pretty much gone through the obedience. If there's a question, you pick up the phone and give me a call, 336-945-3232. JimHodgesDogTraining.com, Facebook, Jim Hodges Dog Training, even on Amazon, Jim Hodges Dog Training, like with my leashes and training supplies and things along those lines. There's never a charge for a follow-up. Know that she's going to grow up, and with most dogs, especially dogs that are alpha, they're going to try to put that stamp as they get older and older. It's really important to be that leader. I think it's important for a dog that doesn't even have aspirations to be a leader, for you to be a leader, because it gives them structure and confidence and security with what's going on at home. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. God bless.